many qualifications and experience into a job for 6 to 12 months. But at the end of it, if they leave that job and go back on benefit, then it really hasn't helped them at all, because it's not progressing them or setting them up with a career.
With the scheme offering many opportunities that are already available through other government programmes and limited long-term options, is this really going to help the young unemployed of London, or is this just a stopgap measure?
Jennifer Conway reporting there. Simon Milton, we know Boris Johnson has said it's unfair to introduce this 50% tax rate, unfair for this super tax on bonuses, and he says they should be able to voluntarily give money to help youth, for instance, deal with perhaps youth unemployment. Is that the way we should be doing anything about that? Relying on voluntary handouts from philanthropic bankers?
I think you're confusing two completely different things, Tim. Of course, there is a big role for us in trying to make sure that the conditions are right to get more young people unemployed. It's a tragedy that there is such high levels of youth unemployment in London today, and that's why we are putting a big emphasis on apprenticeships. The GLA group is looking for 1,000 apprentices right across the different bodies. That's one side of things. But secondly, we know that the economy needs the banking system to function effectively, to lend, but also that bankers should put more money philanthropically into things that help disadvantaged people in London.
OK, well, a little earlier in the week I spoke to Work and Pensions Secretary Yvette Cooper and asked her first about why youth unemployment was up so dramatically.
Well, we know that young people, not just in London but across the country, have been most heavily affected by the recession. In fact, the number of young people claiming unemployment benefits is about half the level it was in the 90s recession, but there's still a lot of young people who still need help, want to get a chance to get on the career ladder, and that's why we want this youth guarantee to help them.
But what's gone wrong when 1997, youth unemployment 48,000, 53,000 today, 13 years of a Labour government, it hasn't done anything about it?
Well, we've got a global recession, and that's not just affected London, it's affected every city across the world.
We did it a few years ago.
And we've got, a big impact of the financial crisis, and that's caused all kinds of problems. It is important, I think, to see that the number of people affected has been less than in previous recessions, in the 90s and also in the early 80s.
But it's not much more than consolation, is it? This, temporary respite, 6-month placements, no guarantee of a job at the end?
Well, it's offering a mix of things. So some of the jobs that are being funded are 6-month jobs that then lead to apprenticeships. Some of them lead to permanent jobs. Some of them involve help to get the next job after you've got started. Because we know a lot of places say, well, I won't take you because you haven't got experience. How do you get the experience if you can't get the first job in the first place?
When apparently educational achievement, the gap between black and ethnic pupils and white pupils has narrowed, there aren't so many differences there. Why is it that black Asian unemployment is still so high? What's happening between school and the workplace? Racist employers?
I think there is still some discrimination, and we saw from some research that we funded what happened if you sent applications in on apparently identical candidates but with different names that people then might think were from different black and minority ethnic groups, and actually people were less likely to get an interview as a result. And so I think there was some discrimination. Well, that's why we set up a task force to look at exactly that and to try and work with employers to tackle discrimination that might still exist, but also to work with different communities to try and tackle the problem. So you've got to address that as well as helping all young people and people get back into work as soon as possible.
A specific London factor question. The London Development Agency, London's economic agency, you are cutting its budget from 376 million to 293 million next year. What a time to do that.
Well, we're increasing the investment across the board in helping people back into jobs. So it's about £5 billion that we're putting in this year and next into the kinds of programmes that you've been talking about, the Youth Guarantee, and that funding was opposed by the Conservatives. They opposed all of that, and unemployment, I think, would have been considerably higher than it is at the moment if we'd followed their course.
A final thought. A national equality panel has said this week that you have not closed that gap between the very rich and the very poor, and it finds that economic advantage and disadvantage reinforce themselves across the life cycle. You've done nothing in terms of social mobility. If you're born poor, you stay poor. That is an indictment, isn't it?
Well, in fact, the report found that there were a lot of areas where things like the changes to tax credits, to the minimum wage, all of those sorts of things have made a big difference, preventing some of the unfair inequalities we would otherwise have seen. But, we know that a lot of these problems are built in from one generation to another, and that's why we want to keep doing more. It's why we want to keep doing more on things like the Youth Guarantee. We want to invest more, not cut it back right now. We want to keep doing more to help people. The fact that we've still got some deep-rooted inequalities and injustices should inspire us all to do more on things like Sure Start, on helping young people, not to say we turn our back on it and cut it back, which is what the Conservatives have said they do.
Yvette Cooper, speaking a little bit earlier, not much time for us to hear from you anymore about what you can do about it, but clearly a lot to do with less money.
And an announcement this week.
OK, well, look out for that. Simon Milton, thanks very much indeed for being here. John, with that from City Hall, it's back to you.
In the past week, the UK economy has moved out of recession, but only just a miserly 0.1% growth. Compare that to Germany, 1.5% growth. The US economy powering ahead, China too. So whatever happened to Gordon Brown's bold claim that Britain would be leading the world out of recession? It's a point I put to the Business Secretary, Lord Mandelson.
Well, in fact, we have come out of the recession stronger than anyone anticipated, and we've had lower unemployment, fewer business failures and insolvencies, housing repossessions at a much lower rate than previous recessions. So we've come out stronger, but the recovery is not an event, it is a process. That's why we have to keep the government support in place throughout this year to lock in the recovery, and also to put in place the conditions for our future economic success. The last thing we should be doing now is pulling the rug from underneath the recovery, as the Conservatives are advocating.
But David Cameron would say Britain is in danger of losing its AAA credit rating if it doesn't take action now. And you look at what Greece is doing to have to take emergency measures, and the Spaniards have just announced as well they're putting emergency measures to cut the deficit. Doesn't Britain need to do that now?
We need to build in on the recovery. We have to put in place a growth plan. I mean, the actions that the government must undertake hand in hand with the private sector in order to increase demand, investment, but also to make sure that we're strengthening our competitive advantages in those markets and those sectors where future jobs are going to come from. To be perfectly frank, I'm rather fed up with Conservative spokesmen, whether it be David Cameron or George Osborne, coming to an international conference like the World Economic Forum here in Davos and undermining confidence in Britain's economy, driving away as best they can investment in our country. I mean, as George Osborne said, to describe us as...
To be honest about the way you see the economy, is not talking Britain down. That's having a grown-up debate.
It is talking Britain down. When David Cameron compares Britain ludicrously in everyone's eyes to Greece, and when George Osborne describes Britain as an exhausted runner at the back of a long marathon race, unable to summon the strength to build our economy. That is disgraceful, it is irresponsible, it's also unpatriotic.
But, OK, you may not like where they've said it, but isn't the message
You
right?
don't go abroad and say that sort of thing about your own country and your own economy when you're talking to international investors, as they've been doing this week.
But apparently you read, they've been very well received in that the sort of things that they're talking about are seen to be, they're being seen as the next government.
It may well be that our economic competitors in the world don't mind hearing Britain being talked down, but that's no excuse for it, and it shouldn't happen by our own political leaders.
Well, let's just talk about how you make Britain more competitive. I mean, you've introduced another burden on industry with paternity rights, something I'm not sure that you were that in favour of.
I'm fully in favour of creating flexibility for people to enable them to balance their working and family life. But of course we must not be introducing burdens to business which will make it harder for them to get through this year and to build their strength in the future. Look, I'm clear what we need to do. We need to put our banks and financial services sector on a secure footing. We need a sense of strategic direction from the government about where our economy is heading. We've got to target measures and investment and support to build our capabilities in those sectors and markets which are going to grow in the future, where we have a comparative advantage and where we're going to create future jobs. We've got to invest above all in skills, because that is going to be a very important requirement for our future economic success. But we've also got to maintain that business environment, that business-friendly environment, so that we maintain our performance in Britain as one of the best places in the world to start up and grow a business, and that's what the government is determined to do.
And can I just put to you something else that David Cameron said to me in the interview that he did with us, that he said that with regards, and this is very much a domestic issue, with regards to people who are in their own homes and they're burgled, the burglar leaves his human rights at the door the moment he crosses the threshold. Now, isn't that going to resonate?
Of course it's going to resonate. It's a wonderful soundbite, but that's all it is. You know, it's not a practical policy. It's not a practical principle of law that you can operate in, which you say that anyone who is attempting to burgle another house thereby renounces all their rights under the law. What sort of country is he trying to create? So of course it will receive, you know, a short-term public applause from those, you know, who want to get tough on burglars, as we do in our government. And incidentally, crime has gone down under this government, even during the course of the recession in the last 18 months. But where's the practical, common sense policy thinking? And this is the problem I have with Mr. Cameron. You know, he presents a very good sort of fresh-faced, you know, nice, attractive flow of sound bites when he's talking to one audience, and occasionally saying different things when he's talking to a different audience. But what people want is a future Prime Minister who thinks clearly about the issues, who has perfectly sound judgment, who talks to people honestly about what we should be doing, and comes up with policies that he stands by rather than wobbles around.
Well, let me just talk about another issue, which is Northern Ireland. And as a former Northern Ireland Secretary, I'd be interested to hear your views on the meetings that Tories have had with the unionist parties.
I've heard about this. They're playing politics in Northern Ireland. They're seeking advantage for the Conservative Party in Northern Ireland at the expense of the peace process and the devolved government. It's very irresponsible, and I suggest that they desist.
But isn't their relationship with the Unionist Party no different from Labour's relationship with the SDLP?
No, they're playing politics between the Unionist parties, and in doing that they're going to undermine the cohesion amongst Unionists, and thus undermine their confidence in making some pretty tough decisions about where the peace process goes from here. So I think they need to stand back, not seek party advantage, and instead support the peace process.
Can I just talk about the campaign? You just spoke a moment ago about David Cameron being a fresh-faced figure, and that is attractive, isn't it? I mean, isn't that going to be hard for Gordon Brown to come in?
Of course, by definition, it's attractive on the face of it. Of course, when people start asking, you know, why, you know, there's more than one face to the Conservative Party, and oftentimes more than one face to David Cameron, why he says one thing to one audience and another thing to another audience, or as I've seen this week, saying one thing at the beginning of the week when he said he was going to tear up all the government spending plans if they came to office in the middle of this year, but by the end of the week, you know, in discussions with British business who have a rather more realistic and hard-headed view of the economy, saying, oh, well, perhaps the cuts wouldn't be that extensive after all. Now, I think that what we're seeing is somebody who is good outwardly, and I give him that. But I don't think he thinks through what he's saying a lot of the time. I don't think his policies are soundly based. I also think that he becomes a little wobbly under pressure, and I think that's what people are likely to see between now and the election.
But if there is such frailty, why are the Tories still consistently ahead of Labour month after month, and nothing seems to be changing it round?
Well, the polls are fluctuating slightly, but I don't follow polls day by day because I know that they'll swing around.
But I just wonder what you think the challenge is for Gordon Brown.
Well, let me answer that directly. Look, the country's taken a heck of a beating during the last 18 months. Our politics have been in furore with all the hoo-ha over MPs' expenses. You know, it's not been an easy time for the government. But there's another factor, and that is that people, when they see a government has been in office for a number of years, say, oh, well, you know, they've had their innings, now it's somebody else's turn. Now, what we've got to do as a party between now and the election is invite people to re-evaluate the choice they're making and the voting decision that they're going to take in a few months' time, to consider, first of all, whether their own values are actually in their hearts more akin to Labour's values of fairness and opportunity for all, but also where people's interests lie. I mean, which is the party that's going to come forward with the policies to create future jobs, to protect frontline public services, but also, you know, to reinforce a sense of social mobility in our country, creating the opportunities for people that will enable them to make the most of themselves and to climb taller. Now, that's what Labour is about, and that is the choice people will be facing at the coming election, rather than making a sort of retrospective judgment about what we've gone through over the last 18 months.
Is Gordon Brown the right man to do this?
Look, I say this about Gordon Brown. There's no airbrushing Gordon Brown like David Cameron. Indeed, it's sometimes difficult to hairbrush Gordon Brown. But I think that, you know, I understand that people don't connect with him in some cases or relate to him. But what I would say about Gordon Brown is that people have got to judge him not for what he isn't, but for what he believes, what he stands for, and what he's doing for the country in the direction in which he wants to take us. I think that when people judge him on those grounds, they may well come to a very different conclusion. Look, you know, he's not a sort of TV personality. He's not sort of Terry Wogan or Des O'Connor in the way that some people see David Cameron. Gordon Brown is actually a rather more authentic figure than that, and I think when people evaluate the relative merits of both leaders, they may well come to a different conclusion from the one people are assuming now.
Is Tony Blair still an electoral asset to you?
Yes, I think, judging by his performance, which I didn't see on Friday, but which I read and everyone tells me was a very forthright.
So you'd like him to play a big role in the campaign?
Performance. People are describing it as a class act. Whether they agree with him or not on Iraq is a different matter.
But would you like to see him playing a big role in the campaign?
Yes, I've said I want him and all our previous leadership, together with our present leaders, to play their full part in the campaign.
And that's it for this week. Next Sunday, we're going to be in Stourbridge, our adopted marginal constituency in the West Midlands. We'll be discussing immigration. It may not be quite as scenic. Hopefully, it'll be a little warmer. Goodbye.
An ordinary mum in extraordinary circumstances gives her first broadcast interview on Panorama. I Helped My Daughter Die is tomorrow night at 8:30 here on BBC One.
Sport Relief is back, which means you've got the chance to follow in some famous footsteps and rise to the challenge.
And that's why I'm taking on the challenge of trying to keep Gary's ball up for the duration of this trail. Thank you.
The good news is that when Sport Relief comes around on the weekend of the 19th to 21st of March, you won't have to swim to France or run a marathon.
You could be part of the Sport Relief Mile. Tens of thousands of people at venues right across the UK will be taking on 1, 3 or 6 miles to raise cash.
And that cash will be used to transform the lives of people in the world's poorest countries, and right here at home too.
So book your place at the start line now at bbc.co.uk/Sport Relief. Talking of challenges, come on Gary, on your head son.
Whoops. Enter the Sport Relief Mile now at bbc.co.uk/Sport Relief or call 0345 605 8000 for a mile entry kit.
Uncovering the past with great works of art and fascinating treasures in a new series. 7 Ages of Britain starts tonight at 9. But now on BBC One, our live tennis earlier has forced a few changes this afternoon, including a change now to the Build episode of Cash in the Attic.
Hello
and welcome to Cash in the Attic, the show that digs up treasures in your home and then polishes them up ready for profit at auction. Today we're in Nottingham, home to Robin Hood. Stories of his fight against injustice have been told and retold for 800 years. And in the legends of Robin Hood, Nottingham Castle is the scene of the final showdown between him and the Sheriff of Nottingham. Well, we're not going to do any stealing today, but we are hoping that Robin's skill in archery will keep us on target at auction. I'm off to meet Wendy and David Mason, whose life is about to heat up. The Masons have been married for 4 years, and despite living in good old Blighty, they share a love of everything Spanish, especially the wine, the food and the sunshine. Coming up, Jonty uncovers some rather unusual pieces. Where did this come from?
A friend of mine found it beside a dustbin.
Wendy is not convinced by our experts' estimates.
How do you feel about that?
Well, a little disappointed.
And when it comes to auction, the bidders seem to let us down.
Got no taste.
But will Wendy and Dave's dream of a home abroad fall apart when the hammer comes down? Oh, Jonty.
Morning, how are you?
I'm limbering up, ready for the rummage. It's a big one, are you excited?
I am. What have we got installed for us today?
Oh, it's going to be good. Your job is to hunt down those items.
Certainly is.
Mine is to find their owners. Come on. After you. Hello, guys. Oh, it's so exotic and continental here. Doesn't feel like Nottingham at all.
No, Spain.
Spain. Is Spain the great inspiration?
Yes.
That's where we want to go.
Really?
Yes.
Why have you called us in? Why is Cash in the Attic here today?
Well, we're going to retire, hopefully, and sell the house and go and live in Spain.
Ah, very nice.
Wendy used to live there years ago. We like it there, so we think we'll have a better life there.
And have you got lots of stuff to sort through?
Yes.
Quite a bit. We've both been married before, so we've got quite a lot of things that we want to get rid of.
Ah, 2 households in one. That's good for us.
Good.
So why are we raising the money? What are you going to do with it?
Well, we just thought we'd go over to La Manga, which is where we want to go, to look for another house, a villa.
So a house hunting trip?
Yes.
Yes, that's it.
And how much do you need for that?
We thought about £800 for the trip.
Very good. So £800 for a house hunting trip for your new casa in La Manga.
Yes.
With all the stuff inside.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, do you want to show me around the inside? I want to have a look what you've got.
Exactly.
Wonderful. Taking all your belongings with you when you relocate abroad can be a real drag, and that's definitely something that the Masons want to avoid. But before the big move, they first need to find their ideal house abroad. And luckily for us, antiques aficionado Jonty Herndon is here to help pick the items that could send them on their way to scout sunny Spain. Oh, it's a great house. You must be very sad to be moving out. But if we want to raise that £800, we need expert eyes to help us value the items. And I know just the pair. Hola, Jonty.
Hello.
We've got a Spanish theme today.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you?
This. Well, have a look at this. This is wonderful. It looks like a sort of framed picture to start off with. But of course, it's on tin. So what we're looking at here is an advertising board of a lawnmower.
Where did this come from?
A friend of mine found it beside a dustbin. And,
Really?
And I liked it, so I said, can I have it? And he gave it to me, yeah. Really?
Now, greens, they were very big really before the war. And when I say the war, we're talking the Second World War. Now, when it comes to advertising signs like this, they are very collectible. Enamel signs are the ones that usually fetch the most money. And gardening promotions, they are very sought after. There's a very comfortable feel about them. So, for instance, if you ever see a Sutton Seeds sign on tin, it could easily be worth a couple of £100,
Right.
which is very nice indeed.
And are Green's lawnmower signs, are they worth a couple of £100?
No, I think this is worth a good sort of £50 to £80 there.
Really?
That's good, eh?
Yeah, that's great.
Well, there's lots more in this house, Jonty, to value, so we should get cracking.
Good, excellent. I'll
Come
get
with me.
back down here and we'll carry on looking.
I was surprised about the lawnmower sign, considering it was found at the side of a dustbin. If we can get £50 or more for the lawnmower sign, I'd be absolutely over the moon.
Well, David will be pleased he didn't throw it out if it cuts it at auction. But let's not get carried away. No nook or cranny will be spared from our inquisitive eyes. we definitely need to find more items to help our team make a big splash on our auction day.
Oh, Janty, look what I've found.
Let's have a look. They're decorative, but I don't think they're going to quite make a lot.
Oh.
Nice colour. But I was examining this table here. How long have you had this table?
About 5 or 6 years.
Have you?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Well, a table of this shape with the two flaps running down the long side of the table is known as a Pembroke table. And tables like this were very popular really between the mid-18th century all the way through to mid-19th century. The other design feature of a Pembroke table is that there's always one long drawer. So I've got the drawer at this end. Well, the problem with furniture like this at the moment is that prices have fallen rather than risen. So if it was to go into sale, we're looking at £100 to £150. How do you feel about that?
Well, a little disappointed, but at the end of the day, we're going to Spain, and I will not be able to put this in my hand luggage.
Spain, here we come.
Yes, exactly, yes.
So this all goes to the greater cause?
It's got to go.
It's time to move on. Have we been through there? I haven't been through that.
The pressure is on. If we want to secure their place at the top of the Spanish estate agents' waiting list, we better crack on with our search. So it's all good news when Wendy finds this set of Royal Crown Derby plates, estimated at £50 to £80.
David, can you have a look at these figures with me? Can I have a look at these? I've got a whole collection here of all these army men from yesteryear. What's the story behind these? Because they're not particularly old, are they?
Well, the story is that they were my first wife's. My wife used to have a unit in an antique centre, and she used to sell these sort of things.
Okay, well, they're all made by Goebel, and Goebel is a big player, a ceramics maker in Germany. They started in 1871. And really by the turn of the century they were really quite prolific. But by the 1930s they started producing figurines. These ones, however, are produced sort of after 1979, and I know that because they started using the West Germany, Goebel West Germany mark on the underside here in 1979.
Yes.
So they look antique, but these are reproductions of a bygone era, effectively creating the antique look.
Yeah.
So we've got a set of 9 here, 9 different figurines. They're going to be collectors for them, definitely.
Okay.
From a value point of view, I think we're looking at, £80 to £150, that kind of ballpark.
That's very good, yeah.
Excellent. Easy please, he's got Spain on his mind. Let's soldier on. David seems to be quite pleased with our work here, and with a bit of luck, we could be their very first guests in their dream home. And Jonty has come up trumps when he spots this Royal Doulton helmsman, which could add another £80 to our pot. And the barometer, which eases the pressure a little with its value of £80 to £150. Ah, hello, amigos. I practiced my Spanish. Do you want to hear? ¿Dónde es la tienda de antiquidades?
Where is the antique shop?
You pass. Well done. Oh, take a seat. Let's have a siesta. I want to hear all your stories.
Yes.
Firstly, I want to know how you guys met. Because you're both on your second marriages, aren't you? This is your second marriage.
I met Wendy when I went into a store to buy some aftershave, and then decided I was going to go back and ask her out.
Oh, love at first sniff.
True.
And now look at you. You're about to go to Spain, spend the rest of your lives in the sunshine. But you've spent some time in Spain, hasn't you? This is not a new country for you.
I went to Spain about 33 years ago, and I was there for 16 years. We had 2 shops. I love La Manga. It is really nice. And this is why we want to go back to La Manga.
And in terms of this particular trip that we're raising money for, you're looking for property? Because presumably you had a house when you lived there. That's all sold and gone, is it?
Yes, yes.
So what sort of thing are you looking for?
Well, we want to go and look for a villa, a nice villa with a pool and some land and etc.
Excellent. So £800 will do you proud?
Yes, £800 will do us proud for a nice long weekend.
Well, we better go and raise some money, because poor old Jonty's been working away on his own. Vamos.
Vale.
I'm just fluent.
Gracias.
Well, fluent might be just a bit of an exaggeration, but at least I gave it a try. Now it's back to work, and luckily David has put his hand on those Worcester figurines that could well fetch a substantial £100 at auction, as well as this chair valued at £30 to £60. Things are going rather well, but with time ticking away, we need to double our efforts.
Hi, Wendy. Now, I wanted to ask you this question. What's a washstand doing in the middle of your hallway?
A washstand? I didn't even know it was a washstand. We just saw it in an antique shop. It was the right size, everything, and it's just what we wanted. But
And this half-moon shape is very comfortable in this shape,
Yes,
in this
it
shape
is.
of room, isn't it?
Yes.
So let's have a look at it in more detail. We've got this lovely marble top here. And then if we look further on down, if we have a look at the material and the structure, this is veneered mahogany. So it's strips of mahogany cut this way. And this is a very handsome leg. This is a lovely S shape to it, a sort of cabriole leg with this claw foot. I mean, it really looks like the paw of a lion, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
And then we have this carved flower motif on the front there.
Yeah.
So let's consider its value. Well, I'm thinking, because it's so nice, I'm thinking that it's going to be worth about £100, this. So we're looking at £80 to £120. Is that all right with you?
That's fine, yes.
Excellent. You know, I can see that sun burning on your face already. Right, well, we're not quite there yet.
No.
We have more work to do. Come on.
Okay.
Jonty, you're right indeed. We need to crack on. So it's all good news when I find this chaise longue, which could put us at ease with a value of £80 to £150. We're in the home stretch now, but there's still time for one last look around.
How are we getting on, team?
Okay.
What have we got here? Oh, look at this.
That one.
Spot this from 20 paces, this bowl like this. Lovely fruit bowl here. Crown Derby, Royal Crown Derby, known as.
So was it your late wife's? I bought it some years ago from a customer of mine.
Well, it's a very distinctive colourway, isn't it?
Yes.
This Imari pattern, which they have used. You've got this very dark, deep blue, which is a cobalt blue. And then you've got this gilded decoration. So it's very, very distinctive. Now, from a date point of view, you can tell that by this back stamp here. And actually, here we go. Do you see this XL11? That says that was made in 1979. Now, how much do you think it's worth?
Well, 80...
Remember, it's not an antique we're looking at here.
No,
Okay.
well, 50 to 80.
50 to 80, OK,
Yeah.
all right, yeah. David, what do you think?
Yeah, I would probably think, what, Wendy's, £50, something like around that area.
50 to 80, OK. Alistair, what do you reckon?
Oh, you know, it's not got much age. I'm going to be a bit more cautious. I'd say 30 to 40.
30 to 40 pounds. Well, is it OK if I don't tell you before the sale? I like playing these games.
Oh, I hate it when he does this. Keeps us
Yeah, so that means we're going to be disappointed or delighted.
Well, you'll just have to wait and see.
Eh?
Would you mind if we do that?
No, not at all.
Excellent.
No.
So you're not going to tell us?
No.
See, because that could have clinched us, because our total to date, if we don't know how much that is, we haven't quite reached our target. We wanted £800 and we've got £730 worth of stuff to take to auction.
Oh.
So if that sold for £70, then we'd be in the clear. We'd have your £800. So it all depends on the auction. So how do you say good luck in Spanish?
Mucho suerte.
Mucho suerte. Rummaging at the Mason's house has been tough, but we've managed to compile a great collection of antiques and collectibles to take to auction, amongst which are the lawnmower advertising sign, which was found beside a dustbin, the very functional Pembroke table, the washstand with its marble top, and the Crown Derby bowl, whose value won't be revealed until the auction day. It's been 2 weeks since we were rummaging through the Masons' Casita in Nottingham, and we were lucky enough to find lots of interesting items to bring here to Cato Crane Auctioneers in Liverpool. Remember, we got to get £800 together for that house hunting mission to La Manga in Spain, so no time for siesta, only time for bidding. This very popular venue soon fills up with avid collectors and dealers looking for bargains galore and rare antiques. And it looks like some of them are just coming for the entertainment.
I just enjoy them. I just think they're fun, and I like to see how much things go for. It's quite interesting. You know, things that are rubbish, you think are rubbish, go for a lot of money.
There's plenty of choice here for the buyers, but the competition is fierce. So with a target of £800, it's important we get as much interest in our items as possible. It's now time to catch up with someone whose expert opinion should help us see how today will unfold. That's our man Jonty. Ah, Jonty, I saw you eyeing up your favourite little figures.
You caught me red-handed.
I think these are rather sweet. I know you don't like them, but I like her.
But I'll tell you something, there are going to be loads of people bidding for them. Not my cup of tea, but someone's going to buy them.
Excellent. What else should we look out for today?
I just love that really good quality washdown. So actually, there's some really very good quality pieces. And of course, we've got the bowl.
Come on, tell me how much it's worth.
No.
Oh, go on. Oh, you're such a meanie. So, having had a good look around the wide range of collectibles and antiques available, it looks like David and Wendy's collection should fit right in. Still anxious that all their lots will find a new home, they're checking their pieces for the very last time.
Ah, buenos dias.
Ah, buenos dias.
¿Qué tal?
Muy bien.
Muy bien as well. Let's stop speaking Spanish and let's talk about the auction. Are you excited?
Oh, anxious to see if we get the good results.
Yes. You're looking a little bit nervous there, David, I have to say.
Well, we're looking at this. This is very nice. We're hoping this is going to do well.
Yes. Great story, that. Lovely.
Yeah. We've got the Crown Derby, which Jonty still won't tell us the price for.
No, I'm still keeping mum about that.
Yes,
Yeah.
great. So it's quite exciting.
Yeah.
That's about to start, so let's go and get our places.
Yeah.
Right. All we need is £800 today.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Well, let's hope Jonty's optimism will be justified in time. Actually, auctioneer John Crane seems to think that one of our items has got what it takes to impress today's buyers.
Advertising material is always in demand. This one's in very good condition. Gardening as well. Very, very popular subject these days. Old gardening tools. So this will sell well.
Don't forget, if you're looking to trade at auction, do remember to take into account costs for commission and VAT on anything you buy or sell. As we take our position at the back of the room, our first lot is about to make its entrance.
The next lot is a very nice Pembroke table, good quality.
We wanted about £100, but I think it should make more than that, shouldn't it?
Well, it's just a little plain in today's market, and you guys paid more for it than that, didn't you?
Yes, well, yes, quite a bit more. Yes.
Yeah, so we might be taking a bit of a loss on this one.
Well, you got your use out of it.
Yes, we've enjoyed it.
Yes. I think we should get a good £100 for it. Let's see if we can.
Stop me at £50 for it. 50 should be bid quickly. Coming in, sir, right away, please, at 50, 60, 70... 80, 90, 120, sir. Sell at 120. 110 I can do, sir. Can you do 105, sir? I'll put the £5 towards it. £105. 102 then, Mr. Yates. Sing it's you. I had to squeeze it a bit. £102, all done.
That's what you call a good auctioneer.
Good job. And that's one less piece to worry about for the big move out to Spain. Up next is our chair that Jonty valued at £30 to £60. But will it open up enough bids to help make the Mason's dream come true?
What are we going to be bid on it?
Well, selling for £30, it definitely adds a fair amount of cash in our kitty.
Are you happy about that?
Yeah, very good, considering I paid £7 for it.
Now it's time for the washstand with its estimate of £80 to £120 to go under the hammer.
So what do we say on this?
But to our great disappointment, it remains unsold. Still, that hasn't washed away all our hopes just yet. We've still got plenty more exciting goodies for the bidders.
Next lot, ladies and gentlemen, lot 281. It's the Royal Crown Derby Fruit Bowl.
This is our Crown Derby bowl, where Jonty wouldn't tell us the price. I guessed £30, which is probably a bit conservative.
Just a week.
You said £50? 50 plus?
Yes, you both said around 50, didn't you?
Jonty, are you going to tell us? Reveal all?
Well, I can reveal that it's worth a lot more than that. It's worth a good £100 to £150, this bowl. Real quality, very lovely item. Very, very nice indeed. So,
let's hope.
Hope you're right.
Shall we see what it makes? Yes, I'm going to hope. I'm very hopeful.
So your head on the block?
Yeah.
£30 to start it off. £30 is bid. 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. It's against you. £55 only. £50, £55. £50. Can I get 60 anywhere?
Come on.
55. Best we can do today. £55. Not sold, but still on offer, ladies and gentlemen.
Doesn't sell.
Still available later after the sale.
Take that home with us.
Yeah, well, do take it home with you, because it's a lovely object, and it's worth a good £100 at auction.
I was a little disappointed about the Royal Dalton Bowl, but it wasn't sold, so never mind. We'll just take it home and we can take it to Spain with us.
Sounds like a good plan to me, Wendy. We are still far away from the sunny delights of La Manga, so we're hoping that our next piece will turn things around.
Lot 271 now. It's 9 Goebel military figures, including an infantryman.
Ah, it's Jonty's favourite lot. It's those Goebel figures. I think they're rather sweet, and he's confident that they're going to sell. We want to see them march out of the hall.
Yes.
Let's see where we get to them. £20, £20. What about you, sir? £20 for these to start me off? Are you bidding, sir, at the front? £20 is bid. Are you bidding, sir? £20 is bid. 25, the gentleman here. 30 down here. 35, sir. 40. 45, sir. 50. 55, sir. 60 at the front still. Sir, excuse me. 55, sir. 50. Where were we up to? 55 with you then. All done at £55. I'm selling now. 55. 55.
Got no taste.
Oh dear, what a shame. Can't believe it.
It's less than £10 a piece.
I know. I know. Never mind.
Well, despite our auctioneer's efforts to keep the bidding alive, the military figurines have lost their battle against today's fierce bidders. Concerns are growing now. We do need to raise more cash if we want to get on our way to our £800 target. Will our helmsman figure manage to steer us clear of another unlucky sale?
What do we say on it?
Well, at this stage, we're glad to see it selling at £60. It's time to see if the chaise longue, valued at £80 to £150, reaches its estimate.
Should be flying out.
Once again, it doesn't, but it's another substantial £70 added to our total, so we're happy to let it go.
Lot 121, we have a very nice pair of Royal Crown Derby plates in the Amari palette.
How much do we save for these?
50 to £80, but you've got a reserve on these, is that right?
Yes, I put a reserve on at £60, yeah.
Right, okay. Right.
£30 to start me off on these, please. £30 is bid, 30. I've got a lot of interest on these. 40, 50, 60, 5 with you, 65. Any advance on 65? That's £65, all done. All done at 65.
Good. That's nice. We're getting there.
At last, something sells on estimate. But our run of luck proves short-lived when our Worcester figurines, estimated at £100 to £150, face the room.
Like a little bit more if I can.
And they only sell for 60. I'm getting very worried now.
Next lot, 131, is the barometer.
£80 we need for this. Where was this from? What was the story behind this barometer?
This was my grandfather's years ago.
Right.
When he died, I inherited it. So.
Right.
£50 for the barometer to start me off, please. 50 is bid, thank you. 60 down here. 70 there, I've got you in. 80, sir. 90. 100, sir. 100 right down the room now. 110. 120. 130. £130.
Very good.
I can only do so much. 130. 140. 140 anywhere? 150. £150. That wasn't a bid. No, 150 still with you. Thank you.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Yes.
You're pleased now.
There's several beers there. 150 for the barometer was absolutely fantastic. I just didn't think we'd reach that figure, but yes. So, yes, I'm very happy with that.
Right, our last piece of the day is about to go up for offer. I feel nervous, and I'm definitely not the only one.
Right you are, ladies and gentlemen. We'll now move on to lot 141, is the tin sign advertising lawnmowers.
Do you know, I have to say this is one of my favourite little items.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, if it's yours,
quirky.
let's
I'm surprised everybody going wild about this one.
That's great fun.
£30 anywhere? It's a bit unusual, isn't it? 30. Oh, everybody's cutting their grass. Right, £30 is bid here. 30, 5, 40, 5, 50, 5, 60, 5, 70, 5, 80, 80, 5, sir, 90, 5, 100 and 5, 110, 115, 120, 125, sir, 130, 135, 140, 145, 150, make me work hard, 150, 155, sir, 160, 5, £160 over there now. All done and finished at £165, all done. Mr. B at 165.
This was at the side of a dustbin.
Oh, amazing. That's such a great story.
Isn't that fabulous?
The lawnmower sign was incredible, considering it was found at the side of a dustbin, and it's been in my garage for 40 years. We were going to throw it away, so yes, it's a real bonus.
What a fantastic positive way to finish today's sale, because we've had to fight for every penny today, and I'm sure that Wendy and Dave can't wait to know how much money they've made.
You wanted £800 to get you to La Manga. How much do you think we've made?
I haven't the foggiest because I've just just forgot the count.
Yeah? And any ideas?
Yeah?
No idea, but you're going to tell me, aren't you?
Well, it was slightly disappointing, but I think you'll be pleasantly surprised because we still made £757.
Oh, well, that's
Really?
not bad,
That's
is
very
it?
good.
That's good,
That's
yeah.
amazing. And if you think what those two pieces that you're taking home are worth, you
exactly.
did really well.
We did, yes, that was good.
I think that's a great day out.
Really happy.
Converted into euros, it's even...
With a rather successful auction under their belt, Wendy and David are now in sunny La Manga to check out some of the properties on offer.
Oh, David, this is gorgeous.
This one's a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom detached, and the beach is just a stone's throw from the property. So I'm going to leave you guys to go and have a look around, and I'll catch up with you later.
Thank you. Oh, this is nice, David. This must be the master bedroom. It is a really nice size room, fitted wardrobes as well.
Beautiful, like this.
And we can get a king-size bed in, which is nice. This place is absolutely gorgeous. We could move in tomorrow and we wouldn't have to do anything. And I think this is the sort of place that David and I are looking for.
Okay, so here we are up on the balcony.
Yeah.
Take a look at the view, but more importantly, take a look down there.
Oh, that is gorgeous, Ellie. That is really beautiful. The beach, the Marminot and my pool. Just what I want, David, isn't
stunning.
it? It really is lovely.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, with plenty of food for thought, they should be enjoying their new life in Spain very soon.
I'm really excited about coming out here. I've waited for it for a long time, and this has really made my mind up that I'm doing the right thing.
Viva l'España and the sangria and the sun. What a great place to live. And if that's inspired you to turn some of your forgotten treasures into a holiday or anything else that your heart desires, then why not come on the show? Fill out our application form. It's on our website at bbc.co.uk/lifestyle. See you next time. ¿Dónde es la tienda de antiquidades?
Where is the antique shop?
You passed!
I can't believe this. Excellent. You know, I can see that sun burning on your face already.
Absolutely gorgeous, Ellie. That is really beautiful.
This is rarely thrilling. This is the first time they've been here for 700 years. The magic of this collection is what it tells us about the reach of the Elizabethan era. These are the real treasures of the Bank of England. They're the very earliest banknotes. And it's a work of art. So much for Britain's Never Never Shall Be Slaves. This is how Britannia began.
Join me, David Dimbleby, as I uncover the treasures that made Britain great. 7 Ages of Britain starts tonight at 9 on BBC One.
I don't understand this song, but I do like it. Hey, hey, you get up on my club. Hey, hey, you get up on my club. Hey, you get up on my club. Don't hang around, 'cause choose a crowd on my club. Hey, hey, you up on my club. Hey, you up on my club. Hey, you up on my club.
An epidemic hits the harvest, and that's just the beginning. Troubled times ahead in Lark Rise to Candleford, tonight at 8, here on BBC One.
Tom Price stands before us today accused of the murder of Gavin Wilson.
This court's a sham. It's a joke.
Tom shot Gavin.
Tom is one of us.
What about you, Tom? What do you feel?
Survivors, Tuesday at 9 on BBC One. And if you missed the last episode, it's available now on BBC iPlayer.
You got Peggy, she's being assaulted.
I've got a message for you, old lady.
The Range Rover just swings round the corner. Billy steps out. Let her go.
Or I'll rip your bleeding head off.
The guy turns back and he's like,
"You and whose army?"
Phil straight away pops out. And then Grant comes out the back door, brilliant. Grant's back. Hello, Mum.
Celebrate 25 years of dramatic endings. Go online to the EastEnders website and get on TV.
Pat's in a bad way. Will she pull through a week's worth of EastEnders at 3:05? Well, now on BBC One, Jessica's in Jamaica, although it's anything but a holiday.